Grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine and tune in for Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy. On Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, Linda creates sacred space for leading female luminaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. A soulful venue where guests openly share the fears and obstacles they've overcome, wisdom and lessons learned, and the personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic, soulful living.
Welcome to Inspired Conversations. I'm your host, Linda Joy, publisher of Aspire Magazine, the premier inspirational magazine for women since 2006. You know, in January, we will be celebrating the kickoff of our 17th year of bringing you content, inspiration, messages of self-empowerment and possibility through the pages of Aspire. And guess what? It is still free all these years. So grab your free subscription at subscribe2aspire.com. It includes dozens and dozens of transformational digital gifts from our friends. You know, one of the reasons I began the Inspired Conversations radio show is because I believed we needed more uplifting conversations that get us to believe in possibility, get us to see that we are always, always, always divinely supported, even when we may not feel as if we are in the moment. So in today's inspiring interview, author Corin Grillo is going to be sharing all the ways that modern life has separated us from our mystical nature and our bonds with spirit. And also will demonstrate that the magic is still here, hiding in plain sight. We're going to be talking about her new book, Angel Wealth Magic, Simple Steps to Hire the Divine and Unlock Your Miraculous Financial Flow. And this book is going to Costa Rica with me next week. It is in my beach bag, my friends. So Corin is the author of Angel Wealth Magic, as well as The Angel Experiment, which I've read before and had Corin on the show a couple years ago. She's also a Chicana and Puerto Rican mother, a licensed psychotherapist, visionary leader, inspirational speaker, and proprietor of the Casa Condor Retreat Center in Mount Shasta, California. She offers online trainings in authentic spiritual leadership, nature immersions, intuitive healing arts, in-person trainings, and has dedicated her life to sharing the life-changing gifts she's received while learning to work with the angels. Welcome, my beautiful friend.
What an introduction. I'm so happy to be here, Linda.
I love you. And, you know, we were chatting before the air and we were both buzzing so high because I told her I was bringing a book to Costa Rica with me. And she's like, what? I said, oh, this is for me. I usually give away so many books, but I said, this one I'm not letting go of.
It's such an honor. Wow. Thank you. I'm so excited.
Oh, my friend, you know, let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about angels in your journey so that they understand that this is so much more than these books that you're publishing that are transforming women's lives. I want to hear about how you were led to work with the angels, because I always find women's stories so fascinating.
Yes. Well, I happened upon them quite accidentally. I'm not necessarily a religious person, but I've always kind of leaned towards the spiritual side. I was going through a really, really dark period. Actually, the first few decades I would consider the dark period of my life. But this one in particular, you know, I was drinking like a fish. I was just taking a bunch of pharmaceuticals, burning the candle at both ends. And ironically, I was working as a therapist for county mental health, you know, and a friend of mine for my birthday bought me an angel reading. And I just thought like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't think much of it. Oh, let's talk to a psychic. And she bought me a reading and it really, you know, the woman just started saying this stuff that I'm like, no one on earth would know this. And she ended the session by saying, after this, the angels want you to talk to them as if they're real so they can show you. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So I started talking to them, and all of these synchronicities started happening. I started feeling lighter, more buoyant, I guess is a good word to describe it. And on day 3 of talking to the angels, I witnessed a miracle that was so mind blowing and extraordinary that I just couldn't deny. Okay, angels are real, everyone. And I just had to like come to grips with the fact that it wasn't just like, oh, some cool little thing. It was, and I once I witnessed that miracle, I said, whoa, okay, if that is possible by talking to the angels, what else is possible? And that day set me on a journey of deepening into my intuitive voice, my spiritual gifts, and being really led by that voice as opposed to the tyrannical voice that used to fully inhabit my space.
Oh, my friend, it sounds like we have a similar path. I call myself, I was the queen of self-sabotage for the first 30 years of my
Oh,
life.
oh yes.
Welfare mom, high school dropout, runaway.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Oh my
So,
God, I love you. I love you. Yeah, I had a little jail type. I mean, I had it all going on, Linda, when
well,
I
but
was
you know
younger.
what? I'm going to tell you something. I always ask women, what led to the work they do in the world today, because what I've discovered, and I've been doing this show for 7 years. I've had the magazine for 17. I've hosted 14 summits. So I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of women. And guess what the thread is? Like you, like me, our darkest times led us to find our light so we could be a beacon of light in the world. I have no regrets or shame or self-condemnation about the mistakes I made, because I see now that it was to bring me to right here, to this sacred conversation, and to the work I'm doing in the world. Do you feel the same way?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I reflect back in those moments, that were torture at the time, absolute torture. I was, very depressed, wanted to die most of my life. That literally was my number one prayer. Please let today be my last day. And, I look back now and like uproarious laughter and joy when I look back at wow, the collusion of events, like the universe colluding to be your biggest teacher, and to really come to, I don't know, acceptance, full and complete and total acceptance and reverence for those traumatic moments. Um, it- so yeah, we just don't know what's in store for us, but if we hang just hang on, just hang in there, could be something so extraordinary on the other side.
Yes, yes. And I want to give women that hope, because I've struggled too. I know what anxiety and depression is. Corinne knows what it is. And we've come through the darkness. And there was a day, just like maybe you're struggling right now, that you may believe you won't. But just keep holding on, my friends. Just keep holding on.
Oh,
So
yes.
let's talk about angel wealth magic, right? And what led you to write the book? Because I know, and we're going to talk about this, um, there's some of us that grew up with that guilt of, oh, we can't ask for abundance. That is so selfish. And really, the truth is, we are all abundant. We just have become disconnected from our energy and essence. So let's talk about, well, first off, what is angel wealth magic, Corinne?
Angel wealth magic is, well, the first word that comes to me is a celebration of our divine nature, and really a celebration of spirit and how they've always worked for us to help support us in our dreams, and have literally always helped humans before even the religions to learn how to not just survive but to thrive. So the word angels means messengers, and so messengers can come in a lot of different forms. And our ancestors, all of our ancestors, learned how to work with these benevolent divine beings with the invisible world in order to find food, to find resources, to find shelter. They used to know, all of them used to know how to do this stuff. So angel wealth magic is actually nothing new. It is an ancient practice, and and at a time like this on the planet, when so many of us are struggling, the more that we really accept the fact that these beings are real and here to help us with all kinds of things, not just money, but with everything, with love, with our mental health, with our physical health, the more that we really kind of open our minds and embrace this fact, the more that we can really see that they can bring us wealth, and not just cash wise, but a wealth of heart, a wealth of love, a wealth of joy.
So beautiful. And that's why, like, I said this to you off the air, there's a vibration with this book that really resonated with me. And that's why I'm excited to bring it with me. So I can be fully present in the energy, learn from you. So in the book, you say that working with the angels can put us in touch with our true soul's voice. Now, I have found that to be true for myself on the journey, but for our listeners, please let's talk a little more about that.
Yes, actually, ceremonial magicians for hundreds centuries have worked with angels to help activate what they call their knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel. And what they mean by that is that it is, this aspect of ourselves stores the blueprint of our mission, of our purpose. Now, um, I say that in retrospect, understanding that now, but as I started working with the angels, the byproduct of working with them is that they did guide me to a more mission and purpose-filled life rather than just working a job. It's like where I was doing, therapy. It's almost like a way higher octave of work that I'm doing now with more joy, like Linda Joy, right? Like joy, joyful work. But angels can absolutely tap us into the good voice inside that's really trying to lead us to our bigger dreams. And they also, what they taught me about my dreams, and I want to share this with your audience in particular, is that my dreams, it turned out, and your dreams either, Linda, they were not our dreams. Spirit showed me that spirit dreams through us. And when we listen to those dreams, we are activating dreams for other people. So for you, Linda, your dream was like, it may seem for all of us a little selfish to think bigger, dream bigger, have more wealth. But as we grow in wealth, often we are also supporting more and more people and serving more and more people. So perhaps it's not your dream at all. Perhaps it's a dream for spirit and other people's dreams that need you as a bridge to make their dreams happen.
Oh my God, this really resonates with me. And before we jumped on the air, I was telling you about our anniversary. I'm going to share this quick story. So it just shows how, wow, what you just said, it really resonates. Aspire magazine, Linda Joy, the woman, never wanted to start a magazine, the person, the human. But for 3 months, Corinne, way back in 2005, at that time, I kept dreaming of the front cover of a magazine down to the name, the logo. And every time I dreamt about it, it was always the same image, a pile of stones. You know how you, what do you call them? Stupas, like you pile stones
Oh, yes,
intentionally.
yes, yes.
That was the vision. And I kept going. I'd wake up 2, 3, 4 in the morning nonstop. And I kept saying, what the frick am I dreaming about the stupid magazine for? It didn't even make sense to me. And one day I got so frustrated, Corinne, I created it in Microsoft Publisher. That tells you how far back I'm going. And I put it on my bulletin board, and I was just starting to play with the angels and the divine. And I said, you know what? I don't know what this is about. So if you want to tell me, you better make it clear. Watch what you wish for. Because 3 weeks later, a graphic designer was at my house on another project for another company I had. And I said, listen, I'm thinking of starting a magazine. And Corinne, I could not believe those damn words came out of my mouth because I was not thinking of starting a magazine. Long story short, the first print issue came out about 12 weeks later. And here we are 17 years later, all because Spirit would not let me sleep.
Oh my gosh. Can you,
So it's exactly what you said. Did not birth Aspire magazine. I always say to people, she gave birth to me. Because through honoring my connection in my own intuition, she gave birth to me over the last 17 years. So that what you shared earlier really resonated. And I'm sure there were a lot of our listeners out there going, well, that's great for Corinne and Linda. But in your book and what we know about the divine, they're accessible to all of us.
Yes. All of us, I mean, and if you are like feeling like the least likely fool, then they're talking about you, because I was absolutely the least likely fool. And Linda, I have to tell you, just this week, I ran across a channel writing that I did like 11 years ago, about a year after the first miracle. And this is before I was doing any spiritual work, before I had written a damn thing. And the channel that I did from the angels and from spirit was so accurate as to what my life is today. It even said, don't worry, we're going to write your books for you. And I was like, and I had not seen that channel in 11 years. I just came across it this year, and I had no plans to be an author. They said your psychological and spiritual books, don't worry, we'll write through you. And
Oh,
I
love that.
I just found that this week. So like I'm saying, whatever those dreams are, please pay close attention, because like Linda, who's made a huge impact on so many lives, you just don't see it coming until you actually take those leaps.
It's so true. And Corinne, we're going to take our first break. And when we come back, I want to talk about how angel wealth magic can help us in our business, job, work. And we'll be back in a moment, my friends. I invite you to visit CorinGrillo.com, learn more about the empowering work she's doing in the world, and of course, grab a copy of Angel Wealth Magic. And while you're there, the Angel Experiment. We'll be right back, my friends.
This is OTRFM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
Inspiration for a Woman's Soul. Aspire Magazine, inspiring and supporting women on the path of self-discovery. Claim your free digital subscription today, which includes access to thousands of dollars of personal development bonus gifts from Team Inspiration partners. Claim your Aspire Magazine subscription today at subscribetoaspire.com.
Hey America, we need to have a little talk. We've got more food than we know what to do with in this country, yet 17 million kids in America are struggling with hunger. Makes no sense. Luckily, the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks has volunteers gathering excess food and getting it to hungry kids. They're kind of like food angels. Hey, become a food angel yourself by supporting Feeding America in your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. We can't do it without your help. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business.
Hi everyone, this is Shay Parker, the host of Best of the Best, which airs live right here on IOM Radio every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm super excited to bring you expert guest hosts, spiritual discussions, free psychic readings, and so much more. I can promise that you will not want to miss this one-of-a-kind, fun, yet touching, down-to-earth show. Join us every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on OTRFM. This is Shay Parker, and I can't wait to see you there.
This is OTRFM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
Welcome back. You're listening to Inspired Conversations. I'm your host, Linda Joy. And with me today is the one and only Corin Grillo, author of Angel Wealth Magic. So, Corin, how can Angel Wealth Magic help me in my business or in our job, work, career?
Yeah. Okay. So it can help us really level up or level in, if you will. So access a deeper aspect of resources, a deeper aspect of our truth, and open up pathways for new forms of abundance, sometimes in ways that we might not even comprehend or even believe it's possible. So yes, it can help you. Actually, this book, and I set up a kind of a pathway or a system that I actually used myself and had such an extraordinary result that I write about in the book, that I was like, oh, I think I'm going to have to talk about this. And I had a few people try it. They had extraordinary cash attraction results. But the book is written not just for cash wealth. It's also written to help you access, the beautiful power of love and attract wealth that supports your life as opposed to drains your life.
That's beautiful. It's powerful. And isn't that what we all desire? Like for me, when I use the word abundance, doesn't just, like you said, it doesn't just mean money.
Yeah.
It's an abundance of health, an abundance of love. It's all of it. It's an energy for me.
Yeah. It really is. And I think when we learn how to access that and kind of pull some of the beliefs and the weeds out of our garden, that it helps us feel, fall into too much lack or negative thinking. When we open up that field of possibility, then we have access to, it's not maybe attracted to the right people. You talk to the right people that can help your work, your business, your dream, really any aspect of your life, kind of take it to the next level, or, the level in.
Yeah, and you know what? I know there's going to be women listening right now who are going to ask this question, because I know I did way back when I got on the path, and I've been on this path for 30 years now. And this is the question: why the heck would angels help me with making money when they have so much more to worry about in the world? And isn't it a shallow thing to ask for? So, Corinne, I'm sure sometimes you may hear that. What do you have to say?
Yeah, well, I mean, my answer usually is, well, why wouldn't they help you?
Ooh, I like that.
Why wouldn't they? They help with everything else. Spirit doesn't make a difference, despite our programming and conditioning. Only humans judge wealth and money. We grew up with feelings around it, like money is evil or it's greedy, to ask for more. In particular, heart-centered folks are a little shy or ashamed of wanting to claim more economic power in the world. But like I said earlier, angels have always helped us be attracted to the right resources. It's not our fault that we live in a capitalistic society, and that money is a requirement in order to feel a certain level of safety, and also so that we can fund the good causes on the planet that we care most about.
That was a big thing for me too, right? Because when you have that lack mentality, and I was a welfare mom, so I had a lot of money story healing to do, right? It was probably, I just turned 60 a couple of weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I would say probably 30, 35 years, I struggled. And even though abundance always came to me and divine opportunities, I couldn't hold on to it. And I knew it was something within me, energetic, and I just kept working and clearing my energy and thoughts and beliefs, and working with the angels and I call it my divine support team. And then I realized what you said, Corinne. I realized, you know what, Linda, you need to heal this so you can be a blessing to your family, your community, the causes you want. And the funny thing is, the moment I shifted to that energy, I didn't feel that me energy. I felt like, oh, this is my purpose. And everything switched, and abundance has been flowing ever since.
Oh my gosh, I got chills. I got angel bumps, Linda.
Yeah, I call them soul bumps. But see, for me, I didn't know how to bring it into a way that would resonate. And so your words spoke to me as like, we can be a blessing to others, right? So it completely changed how I feel about abundance, money, the energy, or working with my divine support team around finances and abundance. So thank you for sharing that, because I think it is so important for women to understand they have permission to do so, right? The angels are expecting and wanting to support us.
Yes, can I just say,
of course.
I feel that it's mandatory, okay, for us to ask for more so that women can have more economic power, because women are more likely to share their wealth. That's why.
Ooh, yes, I feel that way. I have so many women in my life I work with. I have a lot of clients who are all spiritual entrepreneurs at all different levels, and all of them, they see their business as a point of giving back. A lot of them contribute some of their wages or some of their profits to the charities that make a difference to them. So, I agree, my friend.
Yes.
So I want to talk about, in the book, you talk about 4 magical basics that you feel are required for angel wealth magic to work. So let's talk about those.
Yes, I mean, they're fairly simple. And if you think of working with angels as if it's like playful friends that want to show you some really cool stuff, like you want to do magic together, and so just think of it as if you're a child. So open-mindedness, keeping an open mind. You don't have to necessarily believe necessarily. You could just do it like a science experiment. Let's just try and see if they're real, like I did that first time. when the woman told me, hey, just treat them as if they're real, see what happens, talk to them. So open-mindedness, also a desire, a heartfelt desire to grow your wealth. And I kind of teach a strategy in there to get into the heart of the reason why you would want more wealth so that you can really back it energetically. Also curiosity, just being curious, like, what else is possible for me? What else? Show me what else is possible. But again, childlike curiosity. And let's not forget, Linda, commitment to the dream, to the process. So in the book, I just kind of say, commitment to at least finishing the processes that I lay out for you. It's very, straightforward. But if we can't commit to something as simple as a short process, how can we commit to our bigger dreams? Because there's so many challenges when it comes to really creating your dreams.
Oh my God, yes. And for me, it's funny that you said it, because in my 20s and 30s, I was one of those that had unfinished projects or things all over the place. I grew up with my mother going, are you ever going to finish that? You ever going to do this? And I see now that was probably a trauma response and all of that. But when you commit, there's an energy about that. And I believe I say it now, it's like meeting the divine halfway.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
You can't say you can't say you want something and then or demand it, or say, oh, look, it never came while you sit on the couch eating potato chips, right? You have to go, what can I do to meet the divine halfway to show how committed I am to this? And so for me, that's how I do everything, is like, okay, if this is what I'm requesting and this is what I want to call in, what can I do to honor that commitment?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a step a lot of people forget. They'll pray for stuff and, oh, I'm going to write down, I'm going to do this dream board. But when it comes to actually taking the sacred actions required, because many of these actions are terrorizing, don't get me wrong. But if you're not willing to put some skin in the game and to commit to the process or the action steps you're being guided to take, then it's going to be hard for spirit to fully show you what's possible.
It's so true. And we're going to head to a break. But before we do, I want to close this out by saying, it's so hard in a world where everything is instant gratification that people go, oh, I shouldn't have to work for that. And so I think it's really important. It's a commitment to yourself and to the divine. So we're going to take our next break, my friends. And when we come back, Corinne, I'd love to we talked about the 4 magical basics required for angel wealth magic to work. So when we come back, let's talk about some of the wealth blockers and how they can stand in our way.
Okay, great.
And we'll be back in a moment, my friends. I'm with Corin Grillo, author of Angel Wealth Magic, Simple Steps to Hire the Divine and Unlock Your Miraculous Financial Flow. Please visit her at CorinGrillo.com. We'll be back in a moment.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
Are you feeling the call to unleash your feminine wisdom, hone your empathic gifts, and rise as the goddess you are? You're not alone, my beautiful friend. Crystal Cockerham, spiritual mentor and certified red tent facilitator, trained in both shamanic and priestess practices, works with awakened, empathic women around the world to unlock their shackles of pain, shame, and self-condemnation so they can reclaim their sovereignty and liberate themselves from the world's perceptions. As the founder of Wisdom Awakens and an international best-selling author, Crystal uses her own intuitive blend of spiritual midwifery and energy healing to support women on their journey of transformation. You'll find supportive guidance and community in Crystal's programs, retreats, and sacred offerings. If you're feeling the call to embrace your feminine power, learn more about Crystal's supportive services at crystalcockerham.com.
OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
This is Terry Van Horn, and I want to invite you to join me for my weekly radio show, Hailing Light, on OMTimes Radio every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Hailing Light, we want to bring love, light, and blessings into your world. You can find out more about us at www.healinglightonline.com. Blessings.
Me, a cat, moving in with a new human. It took a little getting used to. She has these weird games she likes to play, like this giant feather. She sticks it in my face. I swat it away. She sticks it in my face. I swat it away. It's almost like she thinks I enjoy it. But seeing how much fun she gets out of it, well, I guess it makes it all worth it. Humans.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
This is OTR FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
You're listening to Inspired Conversations. I am so happy that you're circling up here with me, host Linda Joy, as well as Corin Grillo, author of Angel Wealth Magic. We've been talking about so many juicy things about calling in and working with the angels to create abundance. And what are some of the wealth blockers, Corinne, that we may run into and how they stand in our way?
Yeah, well, overarchingly, wealth blockers are those sneaky little, pesky little demons that kind of stand in the pathway, and they're like gargoyles that try and convince us that that we're not worthy of something. Now, sometimes we're aware of these things, but sometimes they're super unconscious, and we don't realize that those beliefs or those little demons are in there. One of the ones that I need, because I'm a psychotherapist, I'm always curious about how early trauma and childhood trauma might impact our potential today. And so in the book, I talk a little bit about the different things that could happen. But one of the things that I name in there as a potential wealth blocker is carrying too much shame. And this is particularly true for heart-centered people, which is why I name it in here, because a lot of people who are wealthy are shameless, right? And those people are sometimes the ones you don't want to have all the cash. So the people who identify go, well, maybe I stop myself, I pretend like, I don't like, I don't like the camera. I have nothing to say. They don't want to do videos, or they're afraid to, ask for income or hourly rate that's valued at their worth, because they're a little shy and embarrassed about it. So that's really kind of like a really big one for a lot of really good heart-centered people.
Yeah, I know it was a big struggle for me. It was huge. I love what you call it, gargoyles. When you said that, it was like those little negative Nelly thoughts that keep pecking away at you, right?
Yes. And sometimes we're so used to them, we don't call them out because we just make an assumption that that's just the truth. We've been living by this kind of false mental imprisonment for a very long time. And a lot of times it's inherited by our family or the culture, what the culture believes is possible for us, including women. So we have to look at this and go, you know what? I'm not going to listen to that particular demon. I see you, I know you, and I'm about to transform you.
Oh, I love this. Now, you talked earlier, and you talk about in the book about encouraging women to ask themselves why they want more money, right? Like, what's their purpose, why they want it. So I feel that's really important too. And then we just talked about the wealth blockers and the 4 magical basics. So one of the things that you talk about you actually wrote an article for Aspire, which you can't wait for it to come out, which is in the December-January issue. It's about a wealth altar. And as soon as I saw them, like, ooh, like,
oh my gosh.
I have many altars everywhere. So talk about, for our listeners who may not even know what the word altar means. So what is a wealth altar and how do you use it, Corinne?
Yeah, well, especially if I'm in the middle of doing a magical ritual, or a wealth ritual, I create a special altar just for that. That helps helps me focus my mind, but also acts as a portal between my wealth allies. So my wealth allies and me. So I do intention setting there. Sometimes if maybe I have a little offering I want to share with them, or maybe a worry that I'm worried about this thing or that thing, I go there. If it's really business related or wealth related, I go there and I ask. So I specifically have one out if I'm doing a specific magical operation or specific ritual to call in X amount, or let's say I'm doing a launch of something. And I feel like, oh gosh, I'm feeling a little wonky. I'm going to need some extra strength and support. Then I'll set up my altar just for that. So I have my regular prayer altar and then a special one just to help me focus my energy. It helps the human focus the energy, but it's also like just such a wonderful thing that again, humans have done these things for probably since the beginning of time. I mean, there's excavations, anthropological digs where they find little altars or where you leave little sacred objects. So again, your wealth altar, you can set it up however you want. Sometimes it's a candle or something that inspires you. You can use little figurines, put your favorite little angels in there or your intentions on there. But yeah, just to me, it's like a doorway between me and whatever my goal is, and you know, a little window I could talk to spirit through.
Yeah, I love it. It's like holding the intention. Like I have something on my desk. I have one on the, I don't know what you call it, the little armoire in my office. Like for those, like I used to struggle with the word altar. I'm like, you know, way back. And I remember going, oh, you know, I can't do that. Then I realized it's just a place where we can intentionally connect with our source, right?
Yes,
That's a simplified
yes,
version.
yes.
Does that resonate with you too? So that if a woman is sitting here going, oh, I don't know about this altar thing,
Yeah.
I want to say, I want to say this because it came up in a private session the other day with one of my clients. He goes, I don't know, Lynn, I'm, you know, my background, I don't know if I do altars. I said, well, actually, do you have a special thing in your living room where you have your family photos? She goes, oh yeah, of course. I said, that's an altar to your family. I said, do you have something on your nightstand that's maybe like a crystal or something else that's special to you? And maybe every week you put fresh flowers? She goes, yeah, I do. I said, that's an altar, right? She did it with intention. Yeah. Do you?
Exactly.
For those who are listening.
Yes. I actually have a lot to say about this.
Oh, please.
But
Okay, go ahead, please.
I'll try and keep it short. So again, we are standing in a time where we are experiencing the byproduct of our colonization. And we have a lot of negative beliefs because of this about our natural connection to the magical world. So the demonization of these kinds of practices is so prevalent that we again have assumed that these things are not for us, just kind of taking it on someone else's word. But I'm going to tell you, over the years, and I've been doing this work for a while now, when people set up their special sacred place and start engaging with it from the heart, they feel such warmth and comfort that again, this work is really about practicing, and it's not required that you have a sacred space for this work. It's not a requirement, but so many people find such celebration and beauty from having a portal to connect.
Yeah, it's like it's the moment I see any of my little altars around, it's almost like a reminder to be present for a moment.
Exactly.
Your heart. And that is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, because here's the thing. What we used to know was that the whole world is a sacred church. And so what an altar does is it brings your home in, it brings the sacred into your home, what is sacred to you into your home as well. So again, you know, in a way, some of these old beliefs separated us, separated our regular life from our spiritual life. And we are much happier when those two things are joined. When it's not just going to a place to celebrate and revere, but it happens in our home. And it is a reminder for us to invite the sacred into our lives.
It's so beautiful. We're going to take a final break, my friend. And when we come back, I want you to talk about what I'm excited to read while I'm on vacation is you have an 11-day wealth ritual that's included in the book. And I want you to, give our listeners, I almost said readers, our listeners, an overview of that. We'll be back in a moment. I want to invite everyone to get over to CorinGrillo.com, grab a copy of Angel Wealth Magic, as well as her other best-selling book, The Angel Experiment. We'll be back in a moment.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
Are you feeling called to clear your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual blockages? That's your soul and environment speaking to you and asking you to uncover all the clutter that is preventing you from living the life you envision. Felicia Messina DeHady, soul coaching master practitioner and trainer and teacher of advanced interior alignment and medicine wheel feng shui, supports her international clientele by creating inner and outer transformation in their environments and their lives by combining elements from her extensive training, experience, and intuition. Felicia is a master intuitive coach, certified by Colette Baron Reed, and has served as a master mentor for Denise Lin's Elemental Space Clearing certification course, as well as her Ultimate Clutter Clearing. Explore her offerings, including certification courses in Feng Shui, space clearing, soul coaching, and Reiki at FeliciaDeHady.com.
OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle. The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
Welcome back, my friends. Thanks for joining me for the final segment of our show today. So, Corinne, in the book you have the 11-day wealth ritual. And I love it because it's a simple step-by-step daily practice with different angels. So what led you, because what a sacred gift to give everyone to include that in your book. So talk about it, share your insights and thoughts.
Yes, well, this is something that I set up really for myself. I actually did research on some of the more ancient angels that magicians have used to help support their wealth. I also worked with some archangels and other angels that I know of, but I set up this day-by-day practice and really did kind of part channeling and part, excavating. And channeled each of these angels to kind of feel into the right order. So it is a step-by-step, really intentional way that I worked with Spirit to set this up for us to optimize results. And so yeah, and it's not just about wealth attraction. It also helps work on your inner state of being as well. So it kind of covers all the bases, our psychology, as well as inviting in extremely potent, handy dandy angels that really help bring on some pretty miraculous financial experiences.
Well, I love that. And some of them, and we were talking about this off air, some of the angels, like I'm looking at day 4, I am not going to try to pronounce that name. So some of them I haven't even heard of before, which really intrigues me because I'm excited to play. So, break it down, because you started with what you call a angelic banishing ritual, which I thought was really beautiful. So what is that, and why do you recommend starting that? So do you recommend doing that at any time or right before the ritual? Is it specific to preparing for the ritual, or is that another tool?
Yeah, okay. So I highly recommend a banishing ritual before anything that you're calling in or working to manifest. and to create kind of like a little ceremony around it. Okay, it's almost like you knocking on the door going, okay, I'm going to clear the space and we're ready. So a banishing ritual classically has been used in magical traditions to clear the space of negative energy and to invite in support in all directions for this magical wealth ritual to work. So you can use it. So I recommend just doing it for the wealth ritual. But if you like it, a lot of people feel radical shift after you do a banishing ritual. So if you like it, you could do it, if you're feeling funky, or you just talk to some toxic person and, their energy, their vibe just clung to you. You can use a banishing ritual to banish them from your space, and get your power back.
Oh, I love that. In that's another word that can trigger people. And rituals to me, like when I wash dishes, I have a dishwasher, but sometimes I love to hand wash dishes. When I'm looking out the window, washing my dishes slowly, I live in the middle of the woods, Corinne, so I get to watch all the squirrels and animals out there. One day I realized, I go, Lynn, this is a ritual. This is a ritual. So talk about that word ritual, because I know you must be passionate about this too, because I want to break all these connotations down.
I know.
Because I had them when I was young, and you're so well versed in the language of everything. So would you mind taking a moment to break down what your description of a ritual is?
Yes. Well, I just want to kind of reflect back at what you said, which is, a ritual. It could be as simple as what you described just now. But if you look at it, most people who have a problem with the word ritual have come from some kind of tradition. However, if you look at any tradition, whether it's organized religion or not, there's always a ritual involved. There's always an invocation where you're invoking the presence of whoever it is, that whatever church or temple, synagogue that you believe in. So ritual is, I believe, it's hardwired in us. This is, again, why we see all over the world excavations. It's very unique to humanity that we are ceremonialists at heart. And to deny this aspect of ourselves is almost to deny a whole slice of our heart that helps bring us warmth and comfort. So you can create any kind of ritual you like, whether it's a morning ritual, a morning routine. It's just that this one happens to include your spiritual nature.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, my friends, because I want all women to at least be open, right? Be open to trying these practices, from the rituals to the altars. So one of the things that I think we should cover too, because what are angels really, right? Because you hear angels and some people have the vision of what they see on TV, right?
Yeah.
Like the Halloween, Christmas angels that come, or they have their own version of what they were taught. What is your description of the angels?
Yeah, so many of us, so again, angels are messengers, and messengers can come in a variety of ways. In the book, I talk about a specific kind of messenger, but depending on our culture and where we're from, some people would consider ancestors messengers as well, or maybe animal spirits, and I like to really bring a more inclusive nature to my work as well. But if you could, just to simplify it, they act as bridgeways between us and source. And if you think about maybe, what is that, the Sistine Chapel, that painting of Adam that Da Vinci did, I think it was Da Vinci, where Adam's kind of leaning back all naked, and the creator is kind of like reaching out for Adam. And there's a little tiny space. Their two fingertips are about to touch. And that little tiny space, Linda, do you know the painting I'm talking about?
Yes, in between. Right.
Okay.
In between.
So this is the image that Spirit has given me to try and explain them in a really specific, basic way. Angels of all kinds bridge the gap between the human and source.
I love that. Because as you say it, I can see it.
Yeah. So it really simplifies it, and it helps take some of our belief systems out of them. And it's like, oh, it's just it's like an extension of Creator's hand, and it can come cross globally in a variety of different ways.
And what are some of those ways?
Like I mentioned, ancestors, some cultures in the past, really look at, or, if you look at, some of the Hindu versions, there's devas and gods and goddesses. And again, I try not to attach a specific look to
Yeah.
what angels are. Those are generally, from my perspective, our projection of what we feel like they should look like for us, to make it more palatable, because these are energies, these are spiritual beings, that I believe have, again, animated and supported humans since the beginning of time.
Yeah, for me, it's an energy. That's how I
Right.
receive it and feel it.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
resonates. In twice in my life, on one was one of the darkest days of my life, and one wasn't. Both times, and it really, this hasn't happened since, even though I'm always feel like I'm divinely guided. A blue glow. Right. One was a building on a day I was at my darkest and was contemplating not being here anymore. And I was driving, Corinne, and a building was glowing on my right. I shouldn't have been driving because I was sobbing so hard. And this is, I had lived in the town for years, but that day it was glowing. That's all I can tell you. I don't remember getting out of my car. I don't remember walking in the front door. I do clearly remember, that's how out of it I was. I remember a long hallway when I opened the main door, and I stood there going, oh my God, I can't make a choice, because it was 3 doors, straight ahead, right, and left. And on the left, Corinne, was 2 French doors. I opened them. Can't believe I did this to this day. I opened them. There was a fireplace in there, a chair, and a sofa. I sat on the sofa. The moment I sat on the sofa, a second door within that room opened, and a woman walked in with a clipboard. I scared the shit out of her. And I said, if you make me leave, I won't make it through the night. Now, here's when I know this is angels. She was a child trauma psychotherapist, and I was having flashbacks and didn't know what flashbacks were.
Oh.
Worked with her for 3.5 years. Now, no one can ever tell me that I wasn't divinely saved that day.
Oh my gosh.
And it was a blue light, and it happened one other time, but that time I still remember. Come on, I walked into a therapist's office unannounced, and that's her specialty. It saved my life.
Oh my gosh, Linda.
So I wanted to share that with everyone. It was an energy, it was this knowing, it was this following, it was this just be open to signs, open to repeat phrases, conversations. Someone mentions the book 3 times, go get the darn thing, right? Because they speak to us in ways that we can relate to. I'm a very visual person. So I believe I received the blue glow because I respond visually. Now I hear and receive. So I wanted to share that because I want to give everyone hope that we are always divinely supported. And it's why I want to come in on this darn show, because of the work she's doing in the world. So I want to invite everyone again, visit CorinGrillo.com, grab a copy of Angel Wealth Magic, Simple Steps to Hire the Divine and Unlock Your Miraculous Financial Flow. And come on, guys, if you're going to grab the book, grab the other one, The Angel Experiment. Stay connected with Corinne. She's always up to some magical events, and follow her on social media. My friend, we have a few moments left, so I'm going to ask you, what's the greatest takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with when they go purchase a copy of your book?
Well, let me just feel into what Spirit's saying now. The first word and feeling that I'm getting is they want you to believe. They want you to believe. And there's pointing to yourself. Believe in yourself first. Trust your dream, trust your desire. And please know that you are not alone. You have never been alone. And they are right there with you right now.
Beautiful. Corinne, thank you for joining me. Thank you for doing the angelic work that you're doing in the world. We need this light. We need to all be bearers of light, and I want to thank you for being one of them and for joining me here today.
Oh my gosh, what an honor. I have to tell you, it's effervescent. It's speaking with you is effervescent. It really is.
I love our connection. I know we're going to do more things in the future.
Yes.
And everyone visit CorinGrillo.com. Grab your copies of her book, stay connected with her. And until next time, my friends, choose love, choose joy, choose happiness. Blessings, everyone.
Thanks for listening to Inspired Conversations with publisher Linda Joy. Join our sacred space every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern and meet leading female visionaries, empowering authors, heart-centered female entrepreneurs, coaches, and healers. Inspired Conversations with Linda Joy is a soulful venue where guests share the obstacles they've overcome, along with wisdom and lessons learned on their personal journey that led them to the transformational work they do in the world. Inspired Conversations to empower you on your path to authentic and soulful living.